Hey guys, what's up? It's Redcoin here, and today I want to talk about my potential class system for OSRS because with the removal of the Duel Arena, they are going to be replacing it with some content, and they did kind of hint that they would be going with something similar to my Last Clan Standing idea. And so I would like to make a bunch of videos kind of fleshing out as much ideas as I can. And that way, there's a reason to complain if something doesn't go quite right or they make a terrible system and everyone wants them to redo it. So I hope you guys enjoy as I talk more about what they can kind of do to make a class system in Last Man Standing and Last Clan Standing, which is the concept idea to replace the Duel Arena. So let's start with the Ranger class. The Ranger in LMS normally starts with a rune crossbow, black dragonhide body, some rune legs, and all the other basic gear that everyone else starts with. And my proposal would be that if you were to choose a Ranger class, what would end up happening is your main rune crossbow weapon would switch out for a dragon crossbow, and your bolts would switch to dragon diamond e-bolts. And that would make it so that most of your damage is focused on range rather than, hitting your barrages or meleeing them when you can get close. And, that's the advantage the Ranger would get. The next class I would like to talk about is the Melee class. And I think that the Melee class should replace the Whip and the Dragon Defender with a Tentacle Whip and an Avernic Defender. And the reason for this is because it needs like 2 items as an upgrade for the DPS to match basically what the other class's DPS increase is going to be. So by giving a Tentacle Whip and an Avernic Defender, you have the ability to poison your opponent, which is pretty good for a melee class. It's just a little extra bonus. And you also get the Avernic Defender for the extra accuracy and stuff. So if you hit them on robes, you're going to hit them. And the last class I wanted to talk about is the Mage class. And for the Mage class, I think that you could just upgrade the Aram Staff to a Staff of Light or a Staff of the Dead. And I think this is a good idea because if you choose a Mage class, you want to be hitting your freezes and hitting your blood barrages, and that's something that's really important to a Mage class. And without it, they just fall behind really quickly because their damage isn't nearly as high as all the other items that you can potentially get for the other classes. So making them more of a utility class by giving them a better weapon to start is generally what I think a mage class should look like. Now, I think there's room for a 4th class. I think we could create a tank class where the basic principle would be that you would get better armor than your weapon upgrades, and that's what you would focus on. So for a tank class, I would say that you could replace the black d'hide body with a Karil's top to start, and the rune legs with Darok's legs. And this would make it so that if someone chooses mage class, you have a Karil's top to hopefully make them splash more. And if you have Darok legs, you can then tank more of the melee and the range hits with those Darok legs increase bonus. And you would still have your basic weapons and stuff, but this would make it so that you're more focused on the defensive side of playing than the offense. And I think this is really important for a balance standpoint, that damage should not always be the best option. And I think there's room where in a niche situation of PvP, you could definitely make use of a tank class compared to a DPS class, especially in a 3v3 or a 5v5 scenario. Now, with these 3, potentially 4 different classes, this would be a great stepping stone for a Last Clan Standing game mode, because with classes, it brings a lot of diversity, and how these classes would be implemented is you would basically just, when you go into a 3v3 or a 5v5 match, you would choose your class before hitting the accept button. And these classes would give you these default items as your bonus for choosing that class. And when you start the Last Clan Standing game, you would then get upgrades that would complement your class, but also that would give you more like armor and stuff for other classes. So if you chose a Ranger, you would not be getting a Kodai as an upgrade. you would potentially get a Staff of Light if that's an upgrade you got for getting a kill, or you would just get more armor for getting your kills. So your Carol's Top, your Darok's Legs for a tank would upgrade into potentially like Bandos or Justicer, and if you were a major, your robes would, if you got a kill, would increase to Ahrim's maybe right away. And your staff would potentially become a Kodai. And if you're a melee, your Tentacle Whip could just become a Rapier, and you could get like a Fury. And I think this is an important part of the game because once you get this kind of system down that makes it so that, you know, you have progression when you achieve like a kill, and that progression is mostly in your class, then you can say that, you know, you specialize in being a ranger when you're trying to join a team, or you specialize in being a mage. And putting a team together for a 3v3 or a 5v5 competitive scenario, these are really important to have classes because they create roles within the game mode. And you know, a tank class's job might be to survive as long as they can, and you, let's say maybe you can drop food to your teammates. Well, maybe a tank's class's job is to tank as much as he can, and when your teammates call out that they're low on food, like a minute and a half in because they're getting wrecked, the tank can drop 2 or 3 pieces of food and for their teammate. And you know, your job as a tank is to survive to the multi-stage. And then once it hits the multi-stage, it becomes basically like a free-for-all, your team versus their team. And so if you can get 3 of your guys to survive to that multi-stage against 2 of their guys, you've done your job as a tank. If you choose one of the 3 main classes, then your job would be to try and kill the other people before that timer kind of ran out. Now, this video was a lot to do with the classes themselves and just explaining how you could potentially select a class and have that class kind of carry you through a last clan standing PvP situation once the game mode kind of comes out and it does replace the duel arena. If you did like the video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you think I missed anything. This was just a video about the class system, so I hope I covered the basics of starting out, and in the next couple videos we'll try and get more into the nitty-gritty stuff like dropping things to your teammates and what is a PJ timer in this kind of situation and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.